I do have to say, the amount of things that I've learned owning a bar that I wish they taught you at school, like changing a light bulb or a fuse on a plug socket, or like putting up a shelf, or like, you know, all of those things. I learned all of that, or like, you know, not plumbing, but like,
no, the
you know,
plumbing
just
you've left to the experts.
You've left. Yes, I have left that, and the electricity and all of that kind of stuff. But like just a general sort of, you know,
the day-to-day, yes.
You know, like
how
it's
to
like,
upholster a chair.
I can do that, but sort of, a little bit iffy on that. I wouldn't go quite that far. I'm very good with a staple gun when it comes to upholstering things. A steam vac, I'm great with that, you know.
Welcome to Finding My User Manual, a podcast all about learning how to be human when no one gave you the instructions. My name is Tiggs Rice. I'm an empowerment photographer based in London, UK. And today we have the one and only Ruby Martin.
Oh,
hey.
Stop it. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm very excited. Like, you do this all the time in my bar, and now it's my turn, so I'm very excited.
Yes. So for anyone,
I say that now.
For anyone who hasn't put two and two together, Ruby is the owner of this fantastic bar, Fontaine.
Pretty bar.
Have been recording in for months now.
And years for you as well with your shots. Yeah.
This is literally my second home. And of course, we had to do an episode with you. And we've got bubbles to celebrate.
Of course, of course, it's the bar.
Well, for anyone who hasn't met you, let me give you the fantastic glow-up introduction.
Okay, go for it.
So, Ruby Martin is the founder of Fontaine's, the gloriously decadent East London cocktail bar and immersive event space we are recording in right now, and of course my second home, where most of my own personal core memories over the last 15 years have been made. Raised on a steady diet of 1940s and 50s fashion, film and old school glamour, Ruby spent 15 years in the spotlight as an actress and cabaret performer before stepping boldly into the hospitality world. Raised on a steady diet of 1940s and 50s fashion, film, and old school glamour, Ruby spent 15 years in the spotlight as an actress and cabaret performer before stepping boldly into the hospitality world. With some of the most iconic restaurants and bars in London and New York decorating her CV, her rich foundation of hospitality, experience design, and the art of making people feel something. And of course, when she turned around to me on a photo shoot in 2011 and said, "One day I am going to own a bar," I absolutely believed her. With a rare blend of performance instinct and hospitality expertise, Ruby understands that the magic is always in the details, from atmosphere and set design to entertainment, storytelling, and creating experiences people never forget. It is my utmost privilege to introduce her today.
That was nice. That was, yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll go with that. That one. Yeah. Why not?
I remember when we had that photo shoot in 2011 and you said to me, "I'm going to own a bar. It's my dream. I'm going to make this."
I used to say it. I remember when I first opened, and all the great burlesque performers that I performed with when it was our little hub back in the day, which was a long time ago. I'd be there downstairs. I remember down at Volupte Day, and I'd be like, "I'm going to own my own bar, and it's going to be fabulous, and it's going to have a backstage, and we're going to have a toilet, and we're going to have a bin and a mirror, and it's going to be very exciting." And they were going, "Ooh, really, a bin?" I'm like, "Yeah, full-length mirror. I'm going to have it all."
And you really
and
do.
I did, yeah.
And your toilet does have fantastic wallpaper and
yes.
a floor to ceiling. Not even a full mirror, it's a floor to ceiling mirror.
Yep. Yeah, but even it was more like when you perform, but like back in the day, I'm sure. I'm hoping it's gotten a lot better now. But back in the day, you know, we would get ready in places where I think about it now. I mean, a flooded ice machine back was a good one. But yeah, just having a full-length mirror to check your costume, a bin to put things in, a little bit more space, you know, a restroom where we weren't going to be bumping into, you know, guests that we were about to, you know, perform to and stuff. So, I mean, we got really, really lucky with this space. But that was actually the reason why we took this space, was when I went downstairs, I saw the back area and I'm like, I can make this into a dressing room and I can have a stage at the front of it and I can keep my performers safe. you know, and the whole idea was that I was going to be, you know, there every week on the stage doing my thing. But then reality kicked in very, very quickly when one has a bar and you're like, oh, right. Yeah, when you're downstairs and putting on, you know, body makeup and tassels and things and you've got staff running down going, where's the PDQ roll? You're just like, yeah, this is not how this is going to, I'm going to have to just go, this is my job now. I'm a bar owner and not a burlesque performer anymore.
So let me ask you the one important question I have to ask you.
Oh, God.
If you came with a user manual, what would it say on page 1?
Yeah, I've heard, you know, everybody else say this and always have like really great answers and stuff. And I did think about it. And for me, if it's the first page, it's just put some red lipstick on and just get stuck in, because that's essentially it is what it is, basically. And I was thinking about it the other day, where when even if I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on, and a lot of the times guests will come in that have like about to have a party, and I always let them know when they can arrive at the venue. Of course they never do. And then like if there's still bits and pieces, but if I've got my lipstick on and I'm then I can still deal with customers. Yeah. But if they've come in and I still haven't put my red lipstick on, I seem more chaotic, or I feel more chaotic. There's still the same amount of stuff to do, but when I've got the red lipstick on, it's just like, oh no, I'm in control of this. You know, yes. I'm the swan that's like gliding along, but underneath I'm just like paddling like hell. But you know, it's more like you've seen behind the curtain when I'm not ready for you to see behind the curtain yet. And it's still the exact amount of things I have to do. So
I always feel the same with mine, actually. Like I can go out like day to day, and as long as I've got a little bit of lip on, like it doesn't matter. Like a shades and a red lip, mask everything.
Oh yeah, you don't really need like a little bit of you know, foundation, even then just a tiny bit. But the red lip, it's always given this sort of control and power. I don't know, maybe it came from being on the stage as well. And it's the final thing that I used to do was the lip. That's the final thing. You have your costume on, you have everything else, and that's the final thing that you do.
Yeah.
And so I think that's always created this idea in my head, as well as, you know, when we first started, everybody that worked here, apart from the gents, unless they wanted to, of course, our uniform was whatever black dress you felt comfortable in, and then a lip. And it was normally a red lip, but then of course everybody's shades are different. So that's one thing you do.
You chose your own red.
Yeah, you choose your own red, because some reds on some people can not do the same effect. So
yes.
Yeah.
I recently had my colour analysis done.
Oh, and I remember you saying.
Also, like, if anyone wants to check this out, feel free. Just go and watch the trailer, watch episode 1, episode 2. I had got it. I'd convinced myself that I was cool-toned, and I've thought this for years. So even back, like 15, 20 years ago, and I was like, I'm cool-toned. So I've always reached for a blue-toned red.
Yeah.
And I got my colour analysis done literally about 2 months ago at this point. And she was like, oh, actually, like, you're not cool at all. Like, you're a true autumn colour. You should be wearing, like, warm colours.
Like orange tones and,
like
and
terracotta
pinks.
apparently.
Yeah,
is like
coral. You could do a coral. I mean, I reckon everybody can do a coral, to be fair. It's like a casual sort of, when you need a casual lip, but still need, you know, a little bit of an oomph.
Honestly, like, I was trying to do my makeup for the first couple of episodes of this, and I just looked so washed out. And I'm like, what is it? And it's like, oh, it's because I switched all my makeup to cool tones.
Yeah. And well, you said it today at the beginning. Am I wearing the, you know, the beige, or am I doing the red? And I'm like, who are you talking to? The red, darling. It's always the red. When in doubt, pick red.
Yeah, so I've switched to a warmer red, and it's definitely doing me some favours. But yeah, I love that you had a lip as part of the uniform as well.
Yeah, we used to have uniforms back in the day, and then, you know, because it was my first time owning a bar, and I'd worked in places that had a uniform and hated it, but also love the idea of, you know, when you go somewhere knowing who, you know, especially when we opened here, and then like we've always had loads of glamorous people here. I mean, we've always said we dress up for you, you don't dress up for us. But obviously it's lovely when people, you know, dress up. I remember once, I think we were 2 years in, and it popped up onto my Instagram saying, dress like you're going to Fontaine's.
Oh.
That evening, yeah, and I love that idea. So a uniform, but then, you know, how things have changed and how people are with their bodies and their image, and, you know, I've always kept it where you know, as long as you're in black, so that's the, you know, and have some sort of vintage kind of vibe. It doesn't need to be 50s or 40s vintage, but just a nostalgic kind of whatever, you know, you sort of identify with, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, the red lip, or the lip, has always stayed, and I've always said to, you know, obviously if they're happy to do it, but, you know, yeah, then nobody's ever said no.
So let's dig into the performance side of you, because actually I don't know that we've ever really leaned into, I mean, that side of things.
Yeah.
Tell me more about performing.
Well, I just come back from New York and was sort of deciding whether or not I really wanted to continue being an actress, and finding it a little bit difficult to, well, quite difficult to find an agent. And one night, me and my friend at the time went to a burlesque show, and I was like, oh, yeah, this could be something like, maybe I am more cabaret kind of, you know, vibe. But then there was the struggle of going, oh God, could I be one of those people that could create a character kind of thing, that, because it is essentially you, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd been an actor, so, you know, I have other people telling me what I should be. And having grown up with vintage music from my mom and my mom's best friend, and vintage clothes.
Yeah.
My mom's best friend, you know, did haute couture, which is like a vintage reproduction. Like, so I grew up in costumes my whole life. I mean, she Joy made my first costume when I was 1, I think. Yeah. I think I was 1. Yeah. So it's always been a part. And I don't know what it was. It was just watching it just made me think, okay, this is something, yeah, that I could do.
Do you remember what the show was? Do you remember where you went?
I know it was at Madame Jojo's.
Oh, okay. Do you remember? Okay.
I can't remember who was performing. I do remember Melissa Binks being there with her rose that she pulled off the pedals, and thinking that was just genius and fabulous.
Finger in the Pie?
I would, you know what,
Gosh,
darling?
I'm
in my mid-40s now, having owned a bar, having drunk a lot. I couldn't tell you the faintest idea of what show it was, because I also left probably rather drunk as well. So all I remember going, oh, okay, it's, you know,
I mean,
that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take my
delving.
clothes off on stage, Mama. You're gonna be so proud of me.
Oh my gosh. Somewhere
She is always
Road
proud
is
of
like,
me,
that
so.
was the inspiration for my song.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm literally delving into the archives of my brain to pull out. But Madame Jojo's was such an iconic venue.
It was, yeah. It was great. It's yeah. There was so many. Volupte was one.
Yes,
you know, I mean,
that's where I did my debut.
I did mine at Bethnal Green Working Men's Club.
Oh my gosh, iconic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know the story of how my career started, don't you?
No.
So
No.
I did my very first performance was at Bethnal Green Working Men's Club.
Yeah.
And it was based on Audrey Horne from Twin Peaks. And these two people rocked up for my very first show. And they happened to be Rose Thorne and Benjamin Loosh.
I mean,
and they...
yes, if it was Twin Peaks,
yeah.
that does not surprise me.
Well, they had been toying with the idea of doing a cabaret show based on David Lynch.
This was before that show?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
So
okay.
they thought maybe it was going to be too niche to do. And they saw me and saw this newbie burlesque performer going, wait a minute, if she's doing Audrey Horne, maybe it's not as far-fetched as we think it is.
Yeah.
And then And then I think it was like 6 months later, it might have been a little bit longer, I'm not sure. And then that was the first one, and I spent the first 5 years of Double R being, you know, their little Double R princess, and they were like my, you know, well, they are my burlesque family.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got my start, like the best way to get your start. And then got to perform with amazing performers from New York, and then got amazing cabaret work from being with them. Like, I'm not sure which direction my burlesque would have gone, which way it would have gone if I hadn't have met them and that hadn't been my starting point.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have gone, like, no, I was going to use the word cliche. That's not the best word to use. But, you know, the idea of how the general population sort of sees burlesque, and seeing it depends, but it being more on the kind of cabaret, like, side of it. I kind of knew I'd probably go down that road, but I think I went way more sort of 50s and sort of bump and grind than I didn't think I probably would have gone if I hadn't have met them. And then they opened up my eyes of, you know, being able to create acts for the Double R, which was incredible, and, you know, really, really pushing me out of my comfort zone. So I credit them for a lot of things.
I think the first time I ever saw you perform was actually at one of their shows. And
it wasn't the festival.
No.
We took the picture.
The picture.
The picture. Yeah.
We'll get to the picture.
We'll get to the picture.
But yeah, I think it was Double R. I'm sure it was Double R, because I remember you were doing you did 2 acts that night. One was a double act, and then you also had a solo, which I think actually was also Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, I did the Marie Antoinette. Yeah.
And I should remember turning up. To be honest, it was so hard for me to get to Bethnal Green Working Men's Club from where I lived. It was hard, and I couldn't ever stay till the end of a show because I couldn't get home from the room.
It is a bit of a
so going there was like, it was a real treat if I got to go. And I remember coming along, and I want to say Mr. Blue was performing that night as well, doing a candle act.
Maybe I would have been backstage, because I think it was the earliest stages of So I pretty much I freaked out and was, you know, like in a daze for the first 2-3 years of my burlesque career. Every time I went on stage or if I was backstage, I was like,
get on the stage, completely black out, do a great act, come back home and go, what happened?
I know, yeah, exactly. What did I just do? That did act. Okay, that happened. Cool, lovely.
But the that particular act, you have a costume that you would pull things.
Yeah, the pull thing out of my. Yeah, that was a special costume that I didn't really think through and got developed quite quickly being on stage. I remember doing a show, I think it was a burlesque tour, and Sean, who does all the sound, he did all the sound tech here and lighting, and he's incredible. And I was on the side of this big, massive stage, because we would travel outside of London, and so there were big sort of theatres. And I think Polly Ray might have been on the bill for that one, or it might have been Amber Topaz. And I was there, and I had the original came out with like a tier of coupettes that were all stuck together that I would pull out of my dress, this big dress, and then a bottle of champagne, and I'd put it on a table, and it'd be this whole thing. And I remember they broke. Literally, the whole structure broke just as I was about to walk on stage. And Sean just looked at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, what? Okay, let's think. And I'm like, let's think. I'm literally about to, he's like, I'm being introduced. And then I was just like, right, I'm just going to take the top glass off, take the bottle of the champagne that was already in my dress, and I'm like, I'll just pull out a glass, because either way, it's going to be cute and fun. And, you know, I was still... Yeah. The only thing with that act is that the amount of times I had to do it, that if you ever put a Mr. Kipling French fancy in front of me, oh my God, the amount that I have eaten, the smell of them makes me just go, no.
Do you know, I mean, I've never had to do an act with one, but also same. There is a distinct smell to a fondant fancy that
I know. It's kind of one of those things that, you know, it was the only act, well, apart from the cherry, but, you know, when burlesque performers would, you know, have like chocolate or whipped cream or all these things.
Yes.
And I'm just
and
like,
under the lights as well.
and under the lights.
Oh,
and
yeah.
if it goes wrong, and it's just like, you know, you just want to avoid all of that. I'm like, I just want to dance around and take my clothes off and be done with it. But yeah, that's the only thing, the French fancy thing. Oh my God. Yeah, can't.
So how did we get from smashing it on stage in cabaret shows to here?
Well, this is the thing. I've been working in bars for like almost 25 years now.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever really had the idea, because I always wanted to be an actress. Never really had the idea of opening up my own bar at all. But being in the cabaret scene and coming from New York, of just that sort of cocktail culture. Like I came back in my early 20s, and London was evolving, and all these amazing Dale DeGroff had come over, and I was working, like Milk and Honey was here, and the culture was completely shifting. And then
I guess you'd also come off the back of like, I was thinking around that time of the New York scene and like Coney Island and like
and also knowing that like that's not what a cosmopolitan should look like, and it's actually a really good drink, and it's not, you know, sort of candied, you know, cranberry or something. Like these things were amazing, and then started really looking into cocktails. I started in New York. That's how that happened. And being in amazing, beautiful, more like hotel bars, old school hotel bars, where they still had bartenders that were in their like 70s, 80s that had like served Frank Sinatra and like Dean Martin and all. And I would sit there at this bar by myself in my like being 20 and just being like, tell me more stories. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me everything that you know. And then when I came over here and, you know, was going back into being a waitress, because that's what you do as an actor and then as a burlesque performer, and just seeing where we were all performing. And not even that, but more of being in places where people were wanting to experience this whole sort of idea of burlesque and cabaret and you know, the music and everything. But then the venue, all the drinks were not being translated into that.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was this idea of thinking, okay, I want to take that, all of that, and then take all the great things that I got from like New York and the deco and the bartenders, and it not having to be like, don't get me wrong, like one of my favorite places in the whole entire world is Claridge's. I love it.
Yes.
Absolutely love it. But not having that stiffness. So you could like merging the two together of like, you should be able to you dress up and have that decadence, have that amazing martini, and then having some gorgeous chick, you know, with burlesque fans or
a touch of prohibition,
feathered fans
with the glory of the cocktails.
Yeah. And also it not being so stuffy. I mean, we'll get to that later because that happened later on. But I think that's where that thought got planted. And then talking to my mom back in the day, because she used to work at this like amazing drag venue called La Belle in Adelaide, which is like in Australia, because that's where she's from. Sorry, Mum. And, you know, and like all these amazing drag queens would like dress up like full on, like apparently there was one that was dressed up as Vivian Leigh from Gone with the Wind. The dress that she comes in at the beginning on a swing on the ceiling. Like, so she'd tell me all these stories. So when you just start, like, they all just start sort of coming together and like, you know, let's use the word festering, because I love that word. Yeah, fester. They were festering. And then we started talking about it, and then, you know, me and Mum said, well, maybe we could do this. And then I think the more I came back to my mum going, oh my God, I've been performing at this place and this drink was shit and this happened and this happened. And then we got the opportunity where we were able to sort of go, okay, this is something that we could do.
Yeah.
So that's how that, like, yeah, that's how it happened.
And has this turned out exactly how your ideas?
Yeah, the funny thing is that we looked at so many places, and every time you looked at a place, the concept of it changed because you kind of like worked with the space essentially. And when I first walked in here, I mean, it was awful. I wish I'd taken pictures.
God,
I always say that to you, going, I wish I'd taken pictures. But I put in everything. We literally gutted everything. I do remember once my mum, when I'd like given her like carpet samples, and then we'd gotten some cabinets and then the gold palm trees and things, and she was like going, Ruby, do we think this is all going to work together? And I was going, I have no idea, but my gut is telling me it's going to. I don't know what it was. We just sort of picked things as and when we got them.
Yeah.
I mean, like the one that freaked me out the most, which still looks beautiful, was the cream furniture.
Yes.
I mean, who in their right mind picks cream furniture for a bar? This one does. This one does.
I remember coming in when the bar was new. And so much, because so much in here is custom. Because I mean, the keyhole wasn't here before.
That was a picture that I saw from like the 1930s.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm just gonna put one of those in, and the corner set, I'm just gonna put that in, and this in, and this in.
Custom as well, right?
Yep. That was
so many.
I'm looking at it, people. I'm looking.
I know we're looking at the bar. I mean, just if you go on my Instagram, probably about 50% of my photos are
the amount of beautiful women in their underwear that have been laying over my bar is because of you. So thank you. Thank you for having beautiful women laying on my bar. I love it.
But it is, I think, the most iconic shot that has been repeated time and time again throughout my portfolio. Yeah. And I remember just walking in, seeing the iconic bar, seeing this keyhole, and then going, cream is a bold choice for a bar.
Yeah. The funny thing is that I didn't really have professional cleaners clean them a lot. And I didn't get a chance to Scotch guard them when we opened because everything was just like a mad rush when we first opened, as it probably is with any bar.
Yeah.
And there was the only two main incidences that have happened, like red wine, all of those things you can get out and like, steam vac is like a godsend. Like it's a godsend. Biro pen and wax.
Yes.
So when my staff member, my bartender at the time, was sitting on the couch and we were talking, and he sort of got up and I'm like, what on earth? And he had like a biro in his back pocket. Yeah, and covered. I burst into tears. He had no idea what was going on. And then the other time was when we used to have candles on the tables and when we got busy and it knocked, and getting candle out, it's the fabric. It was, you can't steam vac that out. So those are the only moments. And then, I kind of relaxed into it going, okay, you can fix this. Just let people enjoy themselves, and it was your fault that you did this. So, live with your consequences, Ruby Fontaine. And I'm okay, I'll live with my consequences.
But they did so well, because I mean,
10 years. 10 years. Yeah, I've only just changed to the teal flock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to keep a cream, not even just one cream sofa, to keep that many cream sofas.
And 15 armchairs.
Yes.
And like stools. Yeah. And ottoman. I had it all. Yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of cleaning. I mean, I still to this day get people walking in going, oh, have you just opened? And I'm like, no, I'm 12 years in. I mean, I paint all the time.
I know.
I touch up with my little paintbrush.
The amount of times I've come in, or like I've been up here and we've had like a shoot day, and I've come downstairs to find you with like a little mini tester pot, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're like, touching up the ceiling. Just touching up. Yeah. No, I know. I can't. It's. I mean, now we classify it as OCD and, or ADHD or all the Ds. I don't know what we call it, but like, that's just me. Like, it's like one of all the Ds. It's all the Ds. But that's the thing. It's like we had people that would come and clean the toilets, but they would never do it as like how I would do it and always forget things. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not on my hands and knees with a toothbrush or anything, but
I'd just rather do it myself. Although then that does end up being an issue when you're, you know,
when you're
strung
trying
out.
to do all the things.
When you're trying to do all the things. Yeah.
What have you learned about yourself through running a bar?
That I don't allow help. Don't allow anybody to help me. I would like to say that I've gotten better, but you'd have to ask my staff and not to ask my mother. Just let's not ask her, because I don't think she would be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, delegation tends to be difficult for me. But, you know, I'm always in this space. This is my home. This is everything. So it's not me not thinking that people can't do it as well as me. It's more like, you've got this job and I want you to be great at this job. Like, you know, make that beautiful martini and I don't mind, you know, whipping into the toilet and giving it a touch. You know, I just see it that way. Yeah. It's not like you can't do it as good as me. It's just that I've got you here to do this amazing job, which I want you to do. And these things are like back of my hand. Like
my forte. Let me
I can just, you know, I'm a zhuzher. I love to zhuzh. So,
you said about wearing the red lipstick, and how putting that on made you, like, you felt ready to basically conquer everything. Do you think that there is an element of performance in owning and managing a bar?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you know, I've joked where I was just like, oh, you know, I expected to open up a bar and I'd just be sitting at it in, like, you know, a sequin gown, drinking martinis all the time. You know, and just like, yeah, I would have loved that for me too. Actually, I probably would have been bored in like a week. But yeah, I built the bar raised. So it was sort of like a stage.
Yeah.
You know, not deliberately doing any of those things. I just sort of, over the years, I've sort of realized, I'm like, well, actually, and created things where, like, that's a photo shoot for people that when they come in and, like, of course, you know, and it is a theatre, you know, and it's old Hollywood glamour. So there's always going to be a theatre element to that.
Yeah. Because
we can only see it from watching film, because we're not in that era or genre anymore. So, and then over the years, because I'm the owner, apart from my mother as well, but I'm here all the time. Everybody sees me. You know, I think probably maybe 5 or 6 times I've not been here when we've been open. And that's because I couldn't, because I was ill, or, you know, I'd sliced my finger or something. And even then I was down the road when I lived down the road, and I'm going, you sure you don't need me? And then they're going, no, Ruby, we're fine. I'm like, you sure? It's like, just nurse the hand. You can't even carry a tray. So, and then it's developed that I am, you know, the main character of this little Fontaine's play, essentially, over the last 12 years. And then the characters have changed when people come and go, and staff members have made an impact on people, and our drinks have, and and I've had the most amazing staff over the years. Some not so good ones, but, you know, and then ones that are just fabulous, that people come in just to see them and have their drink, or they'll talk about, you know, a drink that they like, and then get that person to enjoy this drink that they never knew about because it was an old school, those kind of things. So the whole idea has developed. It was never a conscious thing at the beginning. It was just something that happened organically.
And is there, I mean, I'm always thinking back to, there's a specific episode of The Simpsons, and it's about Mo and Mo's bar. And it's like...
You know, I love referencing The Simpsons.
You know, there's that kind of, Mo is like the therapist of, like, is that a true stereotype of what it is to be?
Oh, God. It's so true.
Yeah?
It's so true. There's good and bad with that.
I bet.
Where, you know, it is part of this industry, very much so. And, you know, I love the fact that I am part of this industry that brought us out of the pandemic. And the only silver lining I can see on it is that a lot of people realized how important this area was for people, like just to go out with friends, to connect, you know, when people aren't on their phones, or going to a party, or just sitting in a bar and just like, you know, being able to enjoy the person that you're with, or if you're waiting for somebody and talking, or people that just come and just, you know, get a connection or a rapport with somebody at their favorite bar and talking about it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Then on the negative side of that is that it is then perceived that that's what we have to do.
Yes.
So we're here to, of course, give you a lovely time and make you a lovely drink. But if it's not full on reciprocated, or it can, you know, when it becomes too intense and too detailed, and we do end up crossing that line of becoming a therapist, you know, but then you're feeding that person alcohol, and it can get very sort of weird. And I find it very uncomfortable. There's a reason why I only have 3 stools at my bar. Because, because it's kind of, you can have lots of people around and that's great, but they're still there to do a job, and like they'll have like a general conversation. But when it gets too deep and too heavy, I pull away from that. And then I do find that upsetting that people sort of think that they can do that. They can, but not being able to be aware of when it's become too much or it's become uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's when I have an issue with that. It's like, you know, see from what's happening to when going, you know what, I may have overindulged a little bit too much and pull it back a little bit, because we want to be there. We want people to have a great time, and we don't want it to cross over into that negative kind of space. And I've, you know, didn't want to touch on the negative reviews that I've gotten over Google. But if you go through all of them, it's never been about the staff, the drinks, the decor, the complete vibe of Fontaine's. It's always very directed and focused on me and a personal connection that I was not aware that I had, that I have now. And on one hand, it's a lovely, lovely thing. But then on the second thing, where I am that person where it's, I shouldn't be your whole experience.
I guess it comes down to that idea of like enthusiastic consent, or consent is tea, you know, and it's, I guess, shows up everywhere. And even in the sense of oversharing, or, you know, asking if it's okay to share if someone has the emotional capacity. Like, I mean, I can't say I turn up to work every day. In a space where I can hold space for everyone else. You know,
there's there's that thing where it's kind of like, I've never said this to any of my staff ever. Like, you know, whatever's going on, leave it at the door. You're here to work. Of course, you're here to work. But, you know, what we do is we realize when a staff member is not having the best time, and then the rest of us will pull that person or take over, or like give them space so they can navigate it, still work, but not have to be in that position where they're confronted with that guest that's oversharing when they're not having a great day, and you pick and choose, you know. But I understand, we're in hospitality. It's kind of like, you know, pulling yourself together and, you know, the show must go on kind of vibe, where put your lipstick on, the show must go on kind of thing. So, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the fact that you could be having one little off day, and yet you're in that position where that person turns around and has this forum, this platform to write something very negative, where it was not, that's not what happened. Or it was a split moment, or it doesn't categorize, but that, I mean, that's what I hate. And people not being aware of that kind of situation kind of thing.
I've always imagined, I mean, I've never actually worked in hospitality, but
oh, you lucky thing, you.
I've done retail though. I've done my fair share.
Oh, okay. No.
Did I feel like?
Can you imagine? I used to work at Jigsaw when I was.
Did you?
When I was 16. When I was 16 or 17, I worked at Jigsaw up in Hampstead High Street. Can you imagine me in Jigsaw?
No.
Yeah, no. No.
I worked at Monsoon once. I did
Oh.
I did a 1 4-hour trial shift.
Is that your experience in retail?
No. I
So
did,
you didn't work in retail?
I did a few other ones as well, but no, I had a 4-hour trial shift at Monsoon, and they are very particular on their hangers, and so there were lots of different sort of like sub genres or sub brands, and they
Oh
all
my
had different
God,
hangers.
you know I would have loved that.
Oh well, apparently my neurodivergence didn't.
I love a coloured post-it, and I would have. I know. I love that. That actually makes me really excited knowing that there was like hangers for certain things, and then sub hangers, and then like maybe color coded for certain things.
Because they had
but there was like
that go on the top.
Oh,
yeah,
stop it! Turning me on, Ting. Stop it!
I'm like, you can have the job, and I'm like, I don't want it. Thanks. There's too many hangers.
I do. I want it. I want it so bad. Not anymore, though. Not anymore. No.
Are there any other?
Actually, you know what, mate? You know what? The idea of just actually no, I take that back. No, it's going on in my head right now. It's going on in my head right now, and I'm thinking, no, I wouldn't want to work in retail at all.
No.
No.
Hats off to people who do it.
Oh God, yeah.
When I was younger, I absolutely had the energy for it. And do you know what? I did meet some incredible people. Like, there were some real highs. But I remember my first retail shift, like going in, I think I would have been about 16, 17, doing the first like full like 8-hour shift. My God, my legs hurt so much at the end of the shift.
But see, this is the thing. I used to work with people, and they get really annoyed when people would like mess up the t-shirts and the jeans, and I'm like, oh, I love it.
But did you have the folding squares?
No, I just used to do it proper. Honey, I'm old. Although,
yeah, not that old.
Yeah, I was good. Yeah. Am I? Yeah. No, but we didn't have. I didn't work at Gap. I think it was only Gap or like certain places that had the t-shirt folding things because they had a lot with the because they had a lot of t-shirts. I never worked in places that had a lot of t-shirts, but so you had to like learn to fold it properly.
Yes, or learn how to exactly trifold jeans.
Yeah. Oh, I used to love
actually,
it.
Do you know what? I did like that. I just didn't like folding was fine. Hangers apparently were not.
See, I love a hanger. And I used to line up the hangers so there was like individual. Yeah, I have issues, but anybody that knows me knows that I have issues.
For someone who spends a lot of time around humans trying to hopefully relax and have a good time, what are some of the most interesting things you've learned about humans and the human experience through running a bar?
I mean, coming in, being sober versus leaving and drunk. I mean, it's incredible to see. It's like the evolution of man, essentially, is what happens throughout the evening. It's just like, but then instead of starting off and going up, they start off and they kind of go down, kind of thing. If you look at the chart, that just how. I mean, not specifically here. I've had a few moments. Don't get me wrong. I've been here for 12 years. Overall, over the 25 years of working in hospitality. Just you really see the human condition and understand, and it's funny how you say there's no stupid questions, but there really are lots of stupid questions. And it's people joke, and that you see now on Instagram of like bartenders and waiters making all these funny videos and stuff, and people finding it amusing, but this actually happens. You've got tables and chairs up and you're hoovering and people are asking you if you're open. Just like things like that boggle my mind. Now, I look at things and sometimes it upsets me when I see that people aren't engaging with the people that they're with, or like it's a lot of taking of photos and videoing and documenting. Like I remember once I had this group of 4 ladies that came in and they were sitting in the middle. And I am not kidding. They all 4 of them were on their phones, constantly taking pictures in the toilets, moving around and stuff. They not at one point did they interact with one another or have a conversation, not at any point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was really going, what is this? This is really weird. And then the following day, they tagged me in all their posts saying they had like the best time meeting up with my besties. And I was just like, okay. that's a shame. So I had like the shift of that, but then, then you get parties and people having a really good time. It's, you learn a lot in this industry. I still don't like the narrative that people have that it's, it's an easy thing to do, or it's how people, of course, it's how you start off making money. It's how people, and then the bartending scene not having the respect that I think that they deserve, and not being in, I'm not saying in the same category as like chefs, but they should be up there with being able to create and dilute a perfect martini, or knowing being able to pairing taste together, or somebody sitting down and not even bothering to look at the menu and go, this is my favorite drink, but I don't want this. Can I have something else? I kind of like it sweet, but I also like it sour. So having to navigate that person and then being able to create the perfect drink for them is such a skill. And is such an amazing skill. And then having to do that with a whole bunch of tickets that are coming through, and then having somebody, some guy going that, his wife's cheating on him and he hates his children, or his children hate him, and having to do all of that dialogue of, being a therapist. To juggle all of that. Like, I have worked in some of the most amazing restaurants and worked with incredible chefs, not personally worked with them, obviously, but experience how amazing that is. But they're in their contained, How about have the customer sit there and tell you what they don't like about the pasta that you're making? Or, you know what I mean? You get to throw things around, can't throw things around now, but like you have that environment to lose your shit and flip out if you want to, versus we have to contain it all. So
because you are so public facing.
Yeah.
You've been running the bar for 12 years.
Yes.
What is the weirdest, wildest, most gloriously wonderful thing that's ever happened in this bar? I feel like that's quite a loaded question, because I think
there's a lot.
Things.
There's the wildest thing that I don't think I can talk about.
No worries. Next wildest thing.
Which, and then I don't know. There was a certain famous person that came in that makes amazing hats for very famous people. And him being in here and saying how much he loved my bar.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going, oh my God. You make hats for very, very important people. Basically the hat person.
The
hat person was in my bar and said that he loved my bar. That was a very, very special moment.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine.
But it's, that is a very special moment, but it's cheesy as hell, and I understand it. But when I have a, party or a wedding or something that they come and they walk out, or I get that email that says, I had the best time. You did all this amazing stuff. You were there, but you weren't there. I suddenly turned around and there you were with a glass of champagne on the microphone for speeches, and your staff are amazing, and we had the best time. That.
Yeah. I mean,
without me getting teary-eyed.
No.
Is that's still my favorite moments, because this is why I did this.
Yeah, to create magic for people.
Yeah.
We actually
a little bit of fairy dust.
I
didn't just say that, cut that up.
No, we're leaving it in. James and I had our wedding party here, so obviously we eloped, but then came back here and threw a fantastic party, 2 floors. But honestly, I mean, I said it at the time, and I'll say it again, the staff were incredible. I don't think I went without a glass in my hand. I don't even think I got to the bar, because my glass was full all night.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Yeah. You know how to throw a party.
I do. Yeah. That's definitely something that I have learned in the last 12 years, is that events and the details that it requires to make it seamless. Yeah. You can do all the big extravagant things. You have all the staff in place. You have the food. You have the, but it's all those little tiny things that just, I remember my mum saying to me when we first, just before we opened, And I was buying bits and pieces, and she was like, "Do you think anybody's going to notice that? I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to notice that. It's like too tiny, or it's too, whatever." And I'm like, "Well, essentially it's for you and me, really, at this point." I had no idea at that point. She was probably right. But then I remember people coming out after being in the toilet and going, "Oh, I love your handles on your door, that
Yes.
they're so deco," and like picking out all these tiny things that we didn't think that people would really notice. And then they did. And so it is one of those things that I am, as much as we can say a lot of things about, silly people thinking that we're open when, we're hoovering, there are a lot of people that notice those fine details and think that that's special.
Like, even to the fact that when we threw that party here, we didn't have to decorate. Because it was already, like, there was enough detail in here that the details, they were felt.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
And even having photographs from events with you here over the years, I think the most that I've ever really seen in here is some extra balloons.
Yeah.
When they've had like the helium ones on the seat.
Or we go to town when it's Halloween. Or we used
oh
to
my
go
gosh,
to town.
yes. All the Christmas decorations.
Oh, Christmas. Who doesn't love Christmas?
Oh, Christmas hair.
I can do a vintage Christmas like no tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
So you had a big announcement at the beginning of this year.
I did.
And the bar is officially closed.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of July, I shall be no more. Fontaine's will be no more, yeah.
How is that? I mean, obviously, you've had a few months now to kind of sit with that. How are you feeling about this transition period for yourself?
It's one of those things where it has been a long time coming, I think, realistically, just because of how this government has made it so hard for hospitality.
Yeah.
And as much as we would love to keep going, our overheads are just insane. So we can't. So that was probably the reason. And I was just here, I was becoming it where this wasn't a happy space for me anymore, which was a real shame. And I was just like, well, me and my mum talked about it, and the fact that we were able to make that decision was great, because I was just like, the moment this starts being something negative, I would just be beside myself, because it's like love, sweat and tears, but like so much. I've had so much fun in this venue and learned so much about myself. I think if I was in the same state as I was like 5 years ago, I think I would be a lot more freaked out. I've just turned 45. I've been in this bar for 12 years. A lot has happened.
Oh my God, this has been iconic. This has been an iconic era.
And I was saying to you, where I can't remember the last time I sort of sent out a CV or anything. Like I was in my 20s, I was, I'd come from being a cabaret performer to opening up this bar. But the amount of knowledge that I've taken from doing parties, from doing events here, the fact that I transitioned very slowly the bar from being, a cocktail bar, to just really only being an event space for people to throw parties. So to have all of that has made this a little bit more easier to digest. Come visit me at, well, I know you'll be there when the doors close. You'll be there, and I'll be sitting on the, crying. But
I mean, me too. Yeah, we can be. We're both going to be on that front step crying.
Yeah, no, not
with a martini.
Well, hopefully, I would have sold everything, so we won't be sitting. I mean, I don't know. Sorry, this is Dalston, darling. We don't. No. What we'll do is we'll go to Claridge's, and then I'll drink a martini and be, and just enjoy the fact that I did really, really well for somebody that didn't know anything. I really was it a serious wake-up call when I first opened up going, oh God, I really don't know anything. I just thought being a waitress and working in great places and just sitting at the bar drinking martinis made me an expert. Turns out it doesn't.
And I think just to highlight at this specific era that Fontaine's has been in, and I cannot remember the figure, but I remember seeing was it hundreds of pubs were shutting.
Yeah.
In an era where it's been so hard to run hospitality.
Yeah.
And
we went through bloody COVID. It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking at this specific area that we're in, pretty much every single thing in this area, apart from maybe the carpet shop, is a different business to what it was when you moved in. You have far surpassed everything. And, it is an absolute testament to you and your team and your mum about what has been accomplished in this time.
Don't get me wrong, if I win the lottery tomorrow, then all of this will, not... We will have to redo this podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
If I win
and
the
you
lottery,
need to get the glamorous, sparkly dress and sit at the bar and someone else.
I do. I have that. The leopard one.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh God,
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It was a burlesque costume, so it is designed to be taken off.
That's fine. We'll shoot it from the right angle. And no one will ever know.
I'll just tape up to the nines and just sit there like this. Don't move. Yes.
Have you had time to think about what comes next for you, or are you still digesting?
Yeah, I think if I hadn't, I'd be really freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
I do really want to go into events. I feel like that's, event coordinating and styling is definitely where I definitely see direction. But I also like the idea of, maybe also being a PA for somebody. I know Mum was like going, that's beneath you. Like, come on, not beneath, but like, there's too much. You'll get really, really bored really, really quickly. I'm like, you know what? The idea of just organising somebody's life sounds really... I would love it, right?
I can see you being an executive assistant to someone.
Literally, I could run around the West End in heels and my red lipstick, getting coffee and organising meetings on a. Although see, this is the thing. I'm old school. Do people use a file of fax now?
Yeah, you
do people file?
Maybe not file.
Like basically, I'm assuming I'm, Joan Holloway in Mad Men.
Oh my God.
That's my secretarial vibe of how I would go about being a PA for somebody. I don't know if anybody would want that. I can file things in a filing cabinet.
Oh my God.
Do people even have filing cabinets? Do people even colour code anymore? They do? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So I'm okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
basically...
Cool. Okay, good.
Ideally in the event space, something executive that involves some kind of hanger or file management system.
Yeah. I can use a computer. I can organise. I can do... I'm fabulous at a spreadsheet. Colour code the crap out of a spreadsheet.
Yes,
My
you
God.
can.
Oh, yes, I can. Yeah. So I feel like there's hope. I feel like I'm going to be okay. We'll see, And also, if push comes to shove, I'm an excellent cleaner as well, and painter / DIY. I can put up a shelf. The amount of things I do have to say, the amount of things that I've learned owning a bar that I wish they taught you at school, like changing a light bulb or a fuse on a plug socket, or like putting up a shelf, or like all of those things. I learned all of that, or like not plumbing, but like
no, the plumbing
just
you've left to the experts.
I've left. Yes, I have left that, and the electricity and all of that kind of stuff. But like just a general sort of
the day to day, yes.
Like
how to upholster a chair.
I can do that, but a little bit iffy on that. I wouldn't go quite that far. I'm very good with a staple gun when it comes to upholstering things. A steam vac, I'm great with that.
One of my favourite memories was us trying to turn on the light system, because you've got the sort of AV downstairs, and desperately trying to get it on because I wanted some lights on the stage. Neither of us could work it out, and realised that we'd turned on the laptop and not actually turned on any of the lights.
Yeah.
So we've also learned some AV skills.
Yeah. No, you know what? To be fair, it's kind of what I was doing that the other day with troubleshooting the DJ area and things. And I'm like, I don't understand. Like everything I know is working, except the fact that I didn't, switch on the speakers.
No.
So there's still things, but yeah. But I just assumed that they were already on because I didn't turn on the Bamboo Lounge, something. I'm just going to blame it on somebody else. Well, I didn't go down there and turn anything on, so, well.
So when's the official last day? When's the last day people can
visit? 17th, July the 17th, Friday, is when we'll be open to the public for martinis. On the Saturday, the 18th, we do have a drag cabaret show, the last one. A Love Potion, the boys are back. I'm so excited. So yeah, I think that's probably just going to be ticketed only, but maybe just keep an eye on my Instagram and I can let you know either way. And then, yeah, and then, you know, our private little party the following week, and then, yeah, we're done.
Oh my goodness. It literally feels like the end
of an era.
Yeah,
it really is.
You know, this is the last episode that we're going to be filming here, and it had to be you as the last one, because I feel like really needed to celebrate this moment, because I don't want to get too emotional about it because I don't need another crying episode, but so much of my career, this has literally been a second home to me for so long, and to be here and to have had the incredible experience to create such wonderful conversations in this beautiful space.
You've had we've had so many amazing people that you shot in here. Like, it's like, yeah, you did create another dimension to Fontaine's that I didn't think would have existed if you hadn't come in and, you know, made it the space that you made it for all these people. So
I'm so glad your dream came true.
Yeah, me too.
And you could have a 12 hole. I mean,
I know.
Come on, babe. 12.
I know. I know. I mean, I opened and, you know, Trump wasn't even a thing.
Oh my God.
That's how long I've been here that, you know, he wasn't even running as president. I know, right? I'm like Jackie Kennedy. No, I'm not like Jackie Kennedy. No.
Well, cheers to
I'm Ava Gardner, but yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, I love you. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're going to be there for the ride.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a rough ride, but it will be a ride.
Well, to anyone who is watching or listening, thank you so much for joining. The podcast is not ending. We are going to be online for the summer, and we will work out where we end up next. But a huge, huge thank you.
Love you.
I love you too. And I will be with you on the next step of the journey, whatever that will be. I will be
red lipstick on and all. So
yeah, I will be wearing my red lipstick in absolute honor.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thanks.
Just remember, if you are watching this and you want to reach out to either of us, both of us are chronically online, you can reach out. I will put all of your socials in the...
Lovely. Thank you.
In the show notes.
All of my socials?
All of your... Well, I will put your Instagram in your
Okay, good. I'm like, how many do I have? I thought I only had one.
Okay, I think you actually might have a Facebook.
Oh, do I? Oh, how retro of me. I love it. Do we still do for a Facebook? Okay.
I will put those in the show notes.
Thanks.
So yeah, please reach out to us. Send this to someone. If you know anyone who wants to come down and help celebrate the end of this era,
buy something.
Have a martini. Yes,
you're right. Yard sale.
The yard sale.
Yeah, the Fontaine's
coming
the
up.
best yard sale that's ever going to be. Yeah.
So yeah, we will all be we'll be wanting to take a little piece of the Fontaine's history. Yeah. I've put dibs on a few things already. But yes, that will be there. I will put that in the show notes as well. So if anyone wants to come down, celebrate, have a final martini, be part of what is such an incredible experience for so many of us. And I will be back next week. Don't forget, you are not broken. You are just finding your user manual.